Chris Landry on your radio Mondays 4 to 4:30. We will move this segment after the fourth. We'll move that to the 5 o'clock hour to accommodate Chris. But for now, until the fourth, we'll have him on. Gracious enough to join us at 4 o'clock. LandryFootball.com is the site. Landry Football on X. Chris, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Jake. How you doing, man?
We're doing good. We're just chalking through. Obviously, tonight is the last night of college baseball with Tennessee and Texas A&M taking on each other for the national championship, and then it is full go. All attention moves straight to football, which is, I think, it's kind of already there. I want to start with, I was just looking at some numbers, and I don't know that you can equate these numbers to anything moving forward, but, a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, there's a segment of the SEC fan base that feels like Texas and Oklahoma's in for a rude awakening. They've played in the Big 12, and, of course, they don't play defense, which I tend to lean. Does the SEC really play defense like it did 20 years ago? I mean, obviously, Georgia does. Bama has played good defense. We've seen some good defenses at other places, but all time, you look at Texas's numbers, 56 and 23 all time against Arkansas. They have winning records against Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama. They're 8-2, 4-1 against Georgia. I don't know that 76 and 37 against A&M, which is crazy. All that to say is, I think Texas is going to be just fine in the SEC.
I think they will as well, and I think the reason is that you can look at Texas historically and say their inconsistency, and I can see how fans and maybe some media would come to that conclusion. But you have to look and pay attention to what Steve Sarkisian has done in recruiting and what he's done on the field in developing his program. And yes, he's a great offensive mind, but he's got good offensive balance, a good level of toughness. Defensively, look at the talent they've had. Look, like everybody else, there's going to be years in which they're better and they have to rebuild. They're fine. They're good. Now, Oklahoma, I think they've got the background and pedigree to also be really good. I don't think they're as progressed as Texas at this point, but I think they can be. And so, look, I think they're fine. I mean, this is not I will look at it and say that when Arkansas and South Carolina and then when Missouri and A&M came in, I think Oklahoma and Texas have the historical background, the resources, the tradition, the facilities, everything to be successful, and I think they will be going forward. In other words, their success is not a byproduct of just being in an inferior league. That's not the case. Does that mean they're going to come and, be one of the top 2-3 programs in the conference? No, I'm not saying that. I think that they could be in the mix, but they're absolutely are in that mix and not necessarily someone that is going to be in the middle of the pack. I mean, you mentioned it. Everyone's chasing Georgia. We'll see what Alabama can do, but I would throw them in with most of the rest of the programs on a year-in, year-out basis.